Welcome to Jacarepaguá for this replica March 23rd, 1986 Formula One event that took place here. We're running 32 laps at 105% difficulty. We qualified in third in Johnny Dumfries' Lotus-Renault. Behind Senna now, we try to overtake him into T2. Staying low, we look at the back of the Williams of Nigel Mansell ahead of us. Catching a bit of a slide there. Mansell ending up being the key rival in this event for us. We had to chase him down over the first couple of laps, and he was hot on our tail for a majority of the race. Stick around for the highlights. I'll try to clip it together to keep the length of the video somewhat reasonable, but the race did take almost an hour to complete. Thanks to Kevin Barber for suggesting making a longer video and event in these Formula One cars. It was a fantastic race, and I learned a lot about the AI behavior, seeing some of the improvements that Riza has made over the last while to how the back markers behave under blue flags and situations like that. There's a mandatory pit stop included in the race, having to change a set of tires as well. So I've set that up, and I planned on doing quite a drastic undercut strategy. The reason for that was so that I could come out of the pits and have some overtakes to throw into the video and show you some of the traffic as I worked my way back up
Kevin,
the grid.
Just keep hitting your marks. This is looking good, P2. The pit window is now open.
Anyone who's done one of these longer races knows that consistency is key, and avoiding going off track or contact with barriers, damaging the car. There's medium damage on the vehicle, and you don't want to come in contact with the AI or the curbs around this historic version of Jacarepaguá. Moving into lap 4, we're still behind Mansell at this point, heading around the hairpin onto the back straight. Plenty of opportunity during the race to perform some overtakes here. I have failed earlier on the lap before trying to get by him. I could only momentarily hold the lead as Mansell came back across my nose into the left-hander and took back first place. This time I block him off from doing that and hold on to the lead. Once I saw that I had pace to get ahead of Mansell, I wanted to hit the pits for that mandatory tire change and get that pit stop out of the way. A 200km/h pit speed limit. I don't think there was a limit back in the day for these crazy turbo cars in the pits, which seems insane to me, but going a little bit too fast, we kind of overshoot the box, completely botch that, and don't panic though, throw it in reverse. We get the crew on changing the tires here. I'll speed this up a little bit for you in the video edit, and get ourselves back on track. And as the pit crew roll their eyes and kind of shake their heads at each other, we head back out onto the course and find ourselves down in 14th. Not the quickest pit stop in F1 history. But we're back on the tail of Jones, heading into T2. I'm not super concerned about the pace of the rest of the field ahead of us. I know that we can get by them, having the qualifying speed and knowing that we've been able to keep up with Nigel Mansell at the front, who's very quick. I'm just a little bit more concerned about coming into contact with them and whether or not they're going to give me the space and or respect on the course and allow me to get by safely.
Clear right.
Getting around Brundle this time, but later on is a different story as we have a little bit of an incident, and I think I'll be meeting with Brundle in the parking lot after the race is over. Heading into lap 7, we're starting to come across a lot of traffic. Fabi in the Benetton BMW to our left. We safely get past him on the inside, heading into T1. Ahead of us is Lafitte. Coming into the left-hander, we look to move to the inside. The number 26 car gives us some room. It's a drag race into the left-hander coming up. And we get that move complete.
Nice one, Kevin. Nice move, mate.
The number 2 McLaren of KK Rosberg is next as we come around the hairpin, looking to get to the inside, but he covers that off quite well. Get back on the power, almost losing the tail end a little bit there. Grabbing some toe, we get around him on the inside.
Hold your line, clear right.
And head towards this really fast left-hand sweeper.
Yeah, nailed that fucker.
With our eyes on the Italian Patrese and the number 7 Brabham, we look to take over 7th position in the race, climb further up the grid, blocking us off a little bit into that left-hander. We move to the inside for the next following left-hand corner and get past him.
Good pass, mate.
Gerhard Berger next in front of us. We'll stick with the footage into lap 8 as we try to get around the Benetton. I love that livery on that car. I almost drove that in the race, actually. Coming across the start-finish line, he's just ahead of us. Try to make a move to the inside again into T1.
Clear left.
And really quickly get by him. We can see Mansell now leading by about 30 seconds in the race. Trying to chase him down. Moving on to lap 9. We've been following Prost for quite a while. He's a couple hundreds ahead of us heading into T1 at the start of the lap. This overtake takes a little bit longer than the rest as he blocks us off from overtaking into the left-hander up here, staying really low on the inside. We were able to get through there a couple times on other drivers, but didn't quite have the momentum to do it.
Still there. Clear right.
We back off to avoid coming into wheel-to-wheel contact, sending us both off. Heading towards the hairpin now, looking for another opportunity out of this corner. He keeps it really tight. We both slow down quite a bit to protect our lines. On the back straight, though, I get a jump on him.
On your right. Clear right.
And finally get past the French driver.
Great move. Keep it up.
Another legendary livery in the Marlboro McLaren would have been a great choice to run in the event. Starting lap 11, behind Rene Arnoux into T1. Judging when the best time to try to make a move on him is, we hold back, heading into T2. Arnoux stays low, but does drift out to the right slightly, enough to open the door for us, but not enough that we could get by. Letting off the throttle as to not come into the back of the number 25 car. Into the right-hander, there's still no chance to get by. We head towards the hairpin, and just like we had with Prost, we're slowing right down, trying not to break traction coming out of the corner. Finally, getting alongside Arnoux.
Car right.
And completing the overtake by the end of the straight as we head into this really fast left-hander. At this point in the race, I found myself in a pretty good rhythm, understanding when the best places to pass the AI are. They're not being pushovers, but at the same time are allowing some room to get by. Lap 13 about to start, and the leaders are entered into the pits. Mansell is just exiting now, having a really quick pit stop. Coming out just 4 seconds back of us. Our extremely early undercut pit strategy has paid off, and we are back into the lead at the start of this lap. Now it'll just be a case of tire management and hoping the engine doesn't blow up. With the AI having some really consistent laps, it's crucial that we don't make any mistakes. Coming into the hairpin, we are behind Schur in the Barclay Aeros BMW. We just duck underneath them and to the inside to get by, almost coming into contact with his left rear tire. No toe to take advantage of down the back straight this time. Also not deploying the boost button as it causes excess damage to the engine. Can't take that risk. I need the car to last till the end of the race. I'm not certain, but it doesn't appear that the AI is overly using the boost as well. Keeping an eye on the leaderboard, Mansell on fresh tires is slowly creeping up on us.
Mansell is reeling you in. The gap's now 3.5. Capelli is pitting from P19. He should come out close in front of you.
Start of lap 14, and we will encounter quite a bit of traffic over the next several laps. Patrick Tambay ahead of us now. French driver giving us a little bit of a hard time.
Hold your line, clear right. Right side, clear right.
We finally get around him, heading into the left-hander, trying to put some distance between us and Mansell. At the start of lap 16, we come across the Ferrari of Alboreto and safely get past him. Behind Strafe now. We need to get around the Tyrrell as well, heading into this left-hander. We stay low. Strafe moving to his right a little bit to give us some room. A great example of the AI moving out of the way for leading cars. We come across Johansson in the Ferrari. He's not as easily letting us by, but eventually does let us through to get onto the back of the Brabham of DeAngelis, who definitely gives us lots of room to get past. Martin Brundle's another story. This idiot pulls in front of me here, and we have no choice but to nudge into the back of him. He should have just let us go by. He ends up in the grass as a result, but I have really no sympathy for him in that situation. Sure, in the Aeros BMW, nicely lets us through as we finish up lap 20 in the event. Really heading through a lot of traffic over the course of the last few laps, having to be careful not to both come in contact with the AI, Brundle being the exception, and also avoiding the curbs. Slowing up now, we're trying to get past the Benetton of Fabi. We're going to just grab a little bit of the toe to head into T1 to make that move and get that completed. Moving into lap 22 now, we are on the back of Palmer's West Zaxby Racing number 14. Gives us room on the right side of his car to get around him through the hairpin and back onto the back straight. Jumping ahead to lap 23. KK Rosberg again out on track. Second time having to come by him in the race. We safely complete that maneuver. Laps ticking by now. Patrizi ahead of us in the Olivetti Brabham. We don't get a move done on that left-hander. We'll probably have to wait until we reach the back straight to safely overtake. So we follow him in towards the hairpin. We do get to the right of him and complete the move before we hit the back straight, actually. Remaining on lap 24, Thierry Boutsen in the BMW Barclay Aeros ahead now. Moves to the side nicely for us as we enter this right-hander. He gives us plenty of room, actually, to then come across in front to complete that overtake safely. We're seeing some really good behavior from the AI in this Retro Formula 1 race. I would really recommend it for anyone who is primarily an offline racer like myself. If you want to run a replica Formula 1 season like this from the past, AMS2 is fantastic for that. As we come across Berger now, go around the outside of him to cross the line to start lap 25. Skipping ahead further into the lap, we come across Rothengatter. Doesn't let us pass easily, trying to maintain his, 25th position in the race and not get lapped, but eventually moving aside, we get around the outside of him and complete that overtake. Ginzani ahead of us now. Second time we'll have to get past them in the Osella Alfa Romeo.
The engine doesn't sound right, mate. We'll keep an eye on it.
Make quick work of that. Getting around. And also getting a warning from Jim about the engine damage that is occurring over the course of the race. I didn't use the turbo at all. I just knew that that was going to cause some kind of mechanical failure on me, so I decided to rely solely on the toe on the back straight here for any kind of boost and laid off using the turbo. Capelli now in the awesomely named team of Jolly Club Spa in the AGS Motori Moderni. Getting by him, leave me a note in the comments that says Jolly Club Spa, and I'll know you made it this far in the race.
Scary moment coming up here as Nannini spins and is facing the wrong way, coming back across the track, almost looking like a multiplayer lobby moment there, and almost takes us off. We have to resort to hitting the grass to avoid contact. Managed to get by him and continue on our way. Very scary moment considering we're so close to the end of this event. That's not how I would have wanted to be taken out.
Mansell is closing you down. The gap has come down to 5.3.
Getting some notification from Jim that Mansell is close on our tail.
Come on, Kevin. 2 laps left. You're P1.
We have accrued some engine damage over the course of the race. Nothing major has happened, I don't think. Maybe a few misshifts, but not many. I think just natural damage that would have occurred to these turbo engines in that era of F1.
Mansell is closing in. The gap is now 4.5.
Wrapping up the penultimate lap in the race. We survived this long, but still have some potential traffic to deal with. And after our moment with Nannini, I'm not really excited about having to overtake any more cars before the end of the race.
Come on, Kevin. Last lap. Keep your shit together. You're not home yet. Pit window is now closed.
Heading out of T1 on the last lap, we will need to get around the number 14 West Saxby racing car of Jonathan Palmer. He twitches slightly, almost coming into contact with us, but we get that move completed and hope to not come across any more traffic before the end of this final lap. We are sitting just 5 seconds ahead of Mansell now. No mistakes can be made. The early undercut pit strategy had paid off, but the tires were starting to show their age. Definitely had lost some grip, although very progressively, and I could still manage the car. Also, we had caused about 25% engine damage. Up ahead, we can see Strafe we still have to get by before the end of this final lap. We're hoping not to come into contact with him and finish the race safely. If you've made it this far in the video, thanks so much for your time watching this. I wanted to demonstrate what's possible in AMS2 as far as replicating a Formula 1 event of this type from the past. AMS2 doing a fantastic job, I think, with this. And Reese has made quite a few improvements.
Car right, clear right.
Improvements to the AI as we just kept past Strafe there. And I thought, aside from our moment with Martin Brundle, did a fantastic job of moving aside for us if they were getting lapped. We're coming across the line here, taking the victory in Brazil.
Perfect drive, absolutely flawless.
P1 and Johnny Dumfries, number 11 John Player Special, followed by Nigel Mansell in P2, really chased us down during that entire race. And Senna, who qualified in second, finishes in third, making for a great overall result for the team in Brazil. I highly recommend trying this out for yourselves. If you have AMS2, I'll leave a link in the description to the custom AI file and custom skin pack I used. From Jacarepaguá, thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.